Hello, I'm the head of Christ Universal, and I've been getting a lot of criticisms in my comments on my shorts, claiming that I'm just fashioning with my own hands what I believe. Basically, that I'm just making stuff up. And that really couldn't be farther from the truth. I went to divinity school and studied Eastern religions and studied my own Christian religion pretty intensely. And then when I left divinity school with a master's in theological studies, I kept studying and I kept listening to God. But many Christians, not only Hindus, but Christians often tell me the same thing. They're like, you're just making stuff up. Guys, Jesus said that if any man be a scribe, he will bring in things new and things old. The Pharisees thought that Jesus was just making stuff up, because what Jesus was saying was not the same as was in the Old Testament. Trust me, the Old Testament of the Christian Bible and the New Testament of the Christian Bible do not verify each other. In the Old Testament, it says eye for an eye. In the New Testament, Jesus says turn the other cheek. In the Old Testament, it says vengeance shall be granted. In the New Testament, it says vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So was Jesus making stuff up? Or was he reading the Old Testament and then talking to his Father and getting answers to his questions? Guys, the way we read Scripture is not supposed to be like reading Scripture so it's the absolute truth. That's called worshiping the letter. And the letter killeth, but the Spirit bringeth truth. But the Spirit bringeth life, sorry. We're supposed to be asking questions as we read to God. That's why relationship is more important than reading, guys. If you just read the text like it's a textbook, I don't know how much you're going to get out of that. You have to have a relationship with the God you are reading about. In Hinduism, in the devotee path, not the renunciant path, or the Vedanta path, but in the devotee path and the devotion path, your whole goal is to be in relationship and communion with whatever God you're devoted to. When you read the Bhagavad Gita, you need to be asking questions to Ganesha about Ganesha, to Shiva about Shiva, to Vishnu about Vishnu, to Kali about Kali. And that's what I do when I read the Christian scriptures or when I read the Quran. I'm asking questions to God about God. And what you call me fashioning things in my own idea, I'm just molding my own religions, is me hearing answers from God. Religion was meant to be creative, guys. God works through our imaginations. In fact, it's through our imaginations that we're able to conceive of God. That's why Satan's always attacking our imagination, through trying to deceive us, discourage us. Because God works through our imaginations to give us a vision of how we can be, to give us a vision of His Son, Jesus Christ. So if you want to think that I'm just making stuff up, that's your prerogative. I don't mind. But I'm trying to use all that God has given me to discern what is true. Not just in the text, not just things that are old, but things that are new too. I hold myself accountable to no text because God is above the text. The word may be above the name, as one of my friends once told me. His word is above his name, but the character is above the word. His character is highest. The character of Jesus Christ is higher than the word of his promises in Scripture. And I don't even agree the word is above the name, because I think that his name is so powerful that his name is at least on even keel with his word. It's often insecurity that causes us to want to hold on to a book rather than use the book as the tool that it was meant to be. It's often doubt and unbelief that causes us to want to say, see, it's right here in the Bhagavad Gita. See, it's right here in the Quran. See, it's right here in John 12:32, like I did in one of my posts today. We want to hold on to something concrete. But you see, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen. If faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things unseen, how is reading Scripture faith? It's what you imagine from what you're reading that's faith. It's what you ask God about and ponder on in your thought space and in your heart space about what you're reading that's faith. The words themselves are just letters and sentences and paragraphs. It's what you do with your spirit, your soul, and your body with what you're reading that's faith. So if you think I'm a sculpture, just know that God guides my hands. God bless.